Hi everybody, Rob Keys here, just on the highway, driving to my buddy's house for a, I think we're calling it a baby diapers and beer party. It's like the equivalent of a baby shower, but for the husband. So we're all bringing a case of diapers and a 6-pack of beers, and then we're gonna go bowling and eat pizza and drink or something, I don't know. I can't stick around too long because I have to leave early. I have so much work to do. Tomorrow I'm interviewing Scott Derrickson about Doctor Strange. They're promoting the home video release, so I get to talk to him for like 15-20 minutes, which is going to be cool. I already got a bunch of questions in my head. I don't really need to prepare for that because we had so many conversations on set like a year ago that I want to follow up on that and talk about like what's next, what's going to happen with the Doctor Strange character in Avengers Infinity War, which they're using a stand-in for Benedict Cumberbatch because he's shooting another movie right now for the first bit of shooting. And then of course Doctor Strange 2, which is a complete inevitability at this point because it made so much money. We've got great reviews, and on set Derrickson, just like Benedict Cumberbatch, even Benedict Wong, everyone was talking very openly about what they're saving or not doing now, but will definitely do in the sequel. Like a sequel seemed to be like it was already built in. It was like a known quantity at the time, even though Strange, they were just shooting it at that point. But I mean, Marvel has that confidence, and now everyone's signing on to a project. He has that same confidence too. So it seems like they have had discussions for a very long time. I fully expect Derrickson to be back for Doctor Strange 2, given that he sort of hit a home run. Even though I personally didn't love the movie, I thought it was really good, and I think it does two things very well. It does special effects in a super impressive way. I think it deserves an Oscar for VFX actually because of that, the time travel stuff, and then that final act set piece when they go to Hong Kong and it's just completely messed up and Strange reverses time. Like, the effects are incredible, and it's something Marvel has struggled with a lot. And you go back to the previous movie last year, Civil War, and it had very rough special effects, especially the whole airport second act fight sequence where like the green screen was showing through. Iron Man and War Machine's armor looked goofy as hell. There was some stuff with Ant-Man when he becomes Giant Man that looked like super fake. So that felt rushed. Doctor Strange felt like, man, they did the special effects right for that one. So that's very cool. And the other thing, and arguably even more important than that, way more important than that, is they got the villain right. And I'm not talking about Dormammu, which was super fucking cool too, but I'm talking about Chiwetel Ejiofor's Carl Mordo, or Baron Mordo as he's known as in the comics. They set him up in such a cool way to return in future movies, where he's like an antagonist but not a true villain. Like, Mordo's goals are the same as Doctor Strange's, in that Mordo wants to protect the Earth. He wants to protect Earth from people abusing magic because he has seen and suffered through the firsthand the consequences of that. So he's sort of like a Loki in a way, but like not as selfish. He's like like a solo lone wolf Avenger who could be potentially as powerful as Doctor Strange himself, but he's following his own path to protect the Earth in his own way. So he's not a villain. He's trying to protect the Earth from, extra dimensional threats as well. But his way is obviously a little more aggressive because that's the type of character he is. That's his upbringing. So very cool stuff. But that's neither here nor there. I want to talk about movies. This year, and I guess to a large extent, well, all throughout 2016 especially, but in the last like 5 or 6 months especially, I rarely go to the theaters. I see the big movies, the big superhero movies, the ones we cover most on Screen Rant, Star Wars, of course. I'll see that early. I only go downtown Toronto for press screenings like 2 or 3 times a year, like for the DC, Marvel, Star Wars movies, like the biggest ones, just so I have advanced notice so we can prepare like tons of features and articles. But traditionally I avoid press screenings because where I live like an hour and a half away from Toronto, and then if I want to go to a screening, it's in the morning, so I have to deal with rush hour traffic. I gotta find parking, pay a ton for parking, and then getting out of there, it's 7-8 hours out of my day. And with my job in the last 2 or 3 years, I can't afford that time any day of the week to see a movie. It's cheaper and more efficient for me just to see it opening night if I need to see it. But I don't review films, and I don't really edit anything. I don't write anymore. It's not my job anymore, so I don't need to see them early. As long as our teams are seeing them early, then we're set. But I'm so busy, I barely get to go to the theaters as it is. My wife works overtime every single day. We both work weekends every single weekend. We just don't have time to see movies. We don't even have time to finish a movie, like a home video movie, in an evening. We watch half of it, one of us falls asleep, and then we never return to it. So it's really bad. However, over the holidays, I tried to watch, because I was super sick, I watched a few films on Netflix or on home video that I had but hadn't watched. I want to say there were like 5 or 6 I wanted to mention here, but just 3 off the top of my head. I'm going to talk about underrated or under the radar films, which are like totally worth watching. The type of movies that back in the day, I'd recommend that go to Blockbuster and rent this film. The perfect rental. R.I.P. Blockbuster. Hashtag never forget. But you know what I mean. Now it's the Netflix type of movie. You can't rent them anywhere unless you have like a Redbox thing. Or does Netflix still do disc mailings in the States? I don't know if they do. It's all digital, I thought. Anyways, so 3 of these movies. One of them is kind of a big one. It's Ben Affleck's The Accountant, which didn't make that much money as far as I remember. It didn't get great reviews, but I like really friggin' enjoyed that movie. It has awesome action. Ben Affleck plays a man who's like autistic, and as a kid he was like severely autistic to the point where like loud noises or bright and flickering lights would like just set him off. So he's been like conditioning himself through how his father raised him and his brother to like fight back. His father was like this strict military man, seemed to be like a special ops type guy, and they kind of like forced their kids to like a brutal and harsh upbringing to prepare them to like take no shit, basically training them to be like super elite Navy SEAL style badasses. Whether that was the goal of his or not, I don't know. But anyways, throughout the movie, like you see like what Ben Affleck's life is now as an accountant who like cooks the books for certain sketchy organizations around the world, but he has like a moral code, and he takes out people like Punisher style who cross the line. And he's got this like secret hideout. He gets paid in like not just cash, but like he doesn't have a lot of cash too. He's super rich. He's hiding all that money, but he gets paid in like original like Van Gogh art, stuff like that. He gets paid in like, you know, first issue Spider-Man comics, like stuff, all the cool geeky shit. And he's not socially all there because of the way he is. And at night he like subjects himself to like an alarm waking him up, super loud music. He doesn't like to be touched, like he doesn't like the sense of touch, especially on his legs. So he's like forcing pain on him as loud noises and flickering lights go off, and he's conditioning himself to be prepared for the world around him. And he's done so in such an elite way where he has such a heightened sense of discipline and sense, where he's like this super badass, like John Wick who can like take more pain sort of thing. And there's I had no idea how good the action was going to be. Now, so that part's really cool, and it's shot pretty well, and it's kind of a cool story about the police kind of after him and their connection to that. And oh crap, the officer who's working with him / trying to find him is J.K. Simmons. So Commissioner Gordon, they're going to be working together again in Justice League, and then the Batman movie Ben Affleck's making. He's always awesome and everything, so he's in it. I'm trying to think. Oh, and John Bernthal plays like another sort of like the opposing, not antagonist, but he's like the badass mercenary on the other side of the story. And you kind of learn throughout the story their connection there. And it's funny, I keep comparing Ben Affleck's character in this film to the Punisher, and then Bernthal, who is the Punisher for the Marvel Netflix TV shows, is in this film as well. So super cool. Now the problem with the story is like it's super convenient how things kind of connect, and like the relationships between certain characters, it's just like it just unfolds rapidly and randomly. And the story is not exactly told linearly because there's lots of flashbacks to like Affleck's character as a kid and his brother and stuff like that. And there's also flashbacks to J.K. Simmons, how he got involved, and it's like it just the pacing's off. It doesn't connect very well, but it's still super interesting, and I really want a sequel, and it'll never happen though. And I joked about this. I had a call last week with the PR team at Warner Brothers, and that came up because we're talking about Ben Affleck movies coming up, like the DC movies, of course, and he's got the Live by Night, which is not doing well right now, but I was talking about The Accountant and how much I actually enjoyed it. But anyways, it's not a great movie, but it's like good, and there's like awesome stuff in it that is totally worth watching. Perfect rental style film. If it does come up on Netflix, or you are a collector of like disc-based movies, totally get it. It's really good. The other two, far under the bar of that, there's Criminal, which was a movie I feel like it's been long in development, because I remember seeing Kevin Costner and Ryan Reynolds attached to it for a very long time. And then I don't know if it was always the plan for Ryan Reynolds to have like a minimal role in it, or if that changed as the success of Deadpool became a thing. I don't know, but Ryan Reynolds is like this super badass CIA spy or something, and he gets killed off in like the opening act of the film. But he has very, very sensitive information that these terrorists are after or whatever. So Tommy Lee Jones is this brilliant scientist, and Gary Oldman is like the CIA boss man, and they need to get this information, so they take a part of Ryan Reynolds' brain after he's dead or whatever, and put it into this crazy psychopath criminal's head. I don't know why it's him. Maybe he's got a special brain type, or he's just on death row, so they decided to experiment on him. But Costner plays this like emotionless dude who has no empathy, super psychopath murderer, extremely dangerous villain. And they put Reynolds' character's piece of a brain into him, and slowly the good personality traits and the ability to be empathetic and feel emotion like bleeds into the psyche and personality of Costner's character, and he starts to be able to recall memories of being with Ryan Reynolds' wife, or his brain piece's wife, who's played by Gal Gadot, and she's really good in it too. Gary Oldman's like a crazy eccentric. I couldn't tell if he was a good guy or bad guy, but he's a yes man for the CIA, I guess. He's a very eccentric boss, as per usual, Gary Oldman style. And Tom Lee Jones is a very soft-spoken scientist. He's not in it that much, but he's super solid. He's looking old though. And Costner's really good as this like crazy super villain in a way. And that all unfolds. The ending, it's super B-movie, but like the cast is kind of good, and like the stuff Costner does when he's like set free, I'll use those words, is really cool. So I'd recommend that one too. I think that one's on Netflix now. I watched part of it, I think, on an airplane, maybe. It didn't make any money in theaters, and I'm pretty sure it got bad reviews, but it's like on paper, it's got like a really strong cast. And it's kind of like a fun sci-fi-esque thriller action movie, so it's totally worth watching. The last one I never heard of until I saw it on Netflix. It's called Marauders. And it's like a Christopher Maloney vehicle, who's like an incredibly badass actor, like the man's man type actor. He's like a Josh Brolin type, where like, I always like seeing him on screen. I kind of wish he was in more. Super awesome. And then the other, there's a couple, I'm trying to think who else is in it, but the other sort of, Dave Bautista's in it as like a supporting role. He plays another FBI agent. So I'll back it up. Maloney plays this like head of this FBI team. And there's like this series of robberies from like super elite spec ops guys who are not trying to murder people, but they're like super well equipped. They got these crazy good tactics. They never speak. They use these like voice boxes to talk to people and control the crowd. And there's this, and the FBI team's trying to go after these guys and figure out what they're doing. And it turns out this squad of guys is trying to like steal from banks run by Bruce Willis's character. That's the other guy who's in it, because Bruce Willis is corrupt, and they're trying to expose him for some awful stuff he did with his brother and with this like military team back in the day. It's a very confusing backstory. But anyways, Maloney is like, all the characters in it, there's like a cop you think is a dirty cop, who sort of is a dirty cop. There's Maloney's character, there's Bruce Willis's character, and then there's the new hotshot FBI sniper dude, who's played by Adrian Grenier, I think is his name. It's the buddy from the star of Entourage, who plays Vinny Chase or whatever. He plays this hotshot new agent on the team, and Dave Bautista is just like another super thick FBI guy. They don't give him much to do in the film, but you know, it's Dave Bautista. He's so likable. And so the FBI guys are trying to figure out who the hell these like 4 or 5 robbers are. These super awesome, again, spec op style bank robbers are. And then they're slowly kind of uncovering that, man, these guys are actually, they're sort of like Robin Hood, and they're seen as that, and they position themselves that to the public. So it's like a Boondock Saints sort of thing. There's actually a Boondock Saints reference in that. So it becomes like a morally gray thing, and then because of like the backstory of like a dirty New York cop, how he's sort of not involved but involved with that, and his like wife who has cancer, and then there's Christopher Maloney's character whose wife was killed by a bad guy, and so like they're questioning their morals. I can't speak. Of what they should do in this situation. Should they let the robbers do their thing? Should they help them? Should they stop them? And so it's kind of cool how they blend in the backstory of Grenier's character, of Bruce Willis's character, who's not in it that much, and then Maloney's character, and then this other cop, I forget the actor's name. So I was surprised how much like lore and backstory they put into all these characters to flesh them out. Like they're so layered, which was unusual for a film that, you know, seems like a B-level straight to home video action movie, but it was actually like super enjoyable to watch. Again, like probably it's on par with Criminal, I guess. These are not like, you know, these are movies that get like C ratings, I guess, on the scale, but again, totally worthwhile rental. It's on Netflix now. At least it is on Netflix Canada. I'm sure it's in the States as well. Another kind of cool action movie to watch with some like recognizable faces. So that's 3 underrated or under the radar films. The Accountant's a bit of an exception because it was a big film and it's got Ben Affleck in it. He's like one of the biggest stars in Hollywood right now. But 3 movies are totally worth watching, renting, however you can get them. Watch them. Cool action movies. So that's it for now. This is like a 15-minute video. I'm on the 401. I have like another 40 minutes before I get there. So like and subscribe for more random car vlogs. I work from home, but I do drive like every day, at least just to get out of the house. I go to Tim Hortons, or I drive somewhere with the dog just to get out of the house, you know. So maybe I can do like more car vlogs, since it's the only time I can like sit down and not be on the computer working away. So this is like an easy way to set it up. If you do want to see more, like and subscribe, leave me a comment, give me topics to talk about. If you want my thoughts on like a game or a movie or TV show or comic or something, or you want me to if you have questions about the industry I work in or anything like that, let me know. And I love reading your comments anyway, so just say hi, what's up, and I'll see you guys next time. So don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. It's at Failcube for like, if you want direct links to all these videos that go up, but you should just subscribe to the YouTube channel anyways. It's also Failcube on Facebook, and then my main Twitter account, it's twitter.com/Rob_Keys, that's Keys, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.